Sorry about that, my battery had died. I had to switch it out really quick. But where do we leave off? We were talking about the Earth. Okay. I don't know how they were able to actually pick up on the sound coming from the Earth. There was a description in the video. Try looking it up. Put sound of Earth from space, but Earth, there itself, there is no sound in space. It was a manifestation of something that is on the Earth. Man, anyway, let's move on. I don't even know where I left off at. Oh man. Okay, here we go. We're right here. These emanations are constantly being impressed upon all the worlds of our systems by the perfect conductivity of the solar ether. Throughout the entire universe, the law of cause and effect is ever at work. This law is supreme, here a cause, there an effect. And what do we learn about cause and effect in the Master Key? That it is us that puts causes in motions, and it is us that reaps effects in return. And it is with our method of thinking that we set causes in motion, because thinking is the most purest vibration that there is. Everything started from a thought. The whole entire universe in general started from a single thought, because a thought first had to exist before anything material could come into being. It had to, because everything material expresses the projections of a thought. Spirit comes first. Throughout the entire universe, the law of cause and effect is ever at work. This law is supreme, here a cause, there an effect. They can never operate independently. One is supplementary to the other. Nature at all times is endeavoring to establish a perfect equilibrium. This is the law of the universe and is ever active. Universal harmony is the goal for which all nature strives. The entire cosmos moves under this law. The sun, the moon, the stars are all held in their respective positions because of harmony. And if they were out of harmony, then there would be no life. Balance and order thy life, and all things will be established unto thee. Seek the kingdom of heaven within you, and all things will be added unto you. That last one was from Jesus the Christ. The first one was from Thoth the Atlantean. They travel their orbits. They appear at certain times in certain places. And because of the precision of this law, astronomers are able to tell us where various stars will appear in 1,000 years. The scientist bases his entire hypothesis on this law of cause and effect. Nowhere is it held in dispute except in the domain of man. Here we find people speaking of luck, change, accident, and mishap. But is any one of these possible? Is the universe a unit? If so, and there is law and order in one part, it must extend throughout all parts. This is a scientific deduction. Ether fills all interplanetary space. This more or less metaphysical substance is the elementary basis of all life and matter. Matter in motion represents kinetic energy. Ether under strain represents potential energy. And all of the activities of the material universe consist of alterations from one of these forms of energy to another. Cause and effect. One is a cause and another an effect, and they never operate independently. The movement of the planets represents kinetic energy, matter in motion, and also the turning on its axis represents this kinetic energy. For instance, Uranus is a mass of matter. For more than 100,000 miles in circumference, this tremendous amount of material substance is driving through the ether at a rate of 4 miles a second. As it has a diameter of 34,800 miles, it puts at least 34,800 miles of ether under strain, driving it forward with the velocity of 4 miles per second. Oh wow. So even the diameter of the Earth, what was he saying that circumference? We'll go back and look at it right now. And what is of still more importance, the planet is not only moving forward, but it is revolving upon its axis. It will then not only push the ether forward, but will twist it into spiral form. These spiral vibrations are potential energy. Wow. And here, let's go back to when he was talking about the Earth, and when it creates heat or generates heat on the planet. Okay. The length, if I could find it. It would be great if I do pretty soon, because we could take what we just read with Uranus and compare it to the Earth. Okay, the Sun ascends planets as the Earth. Okay, I believe this is it, or not. Here, we'll just move on. Okay, we'll move on. Okay, so I don't remember what it is right now, but we're definitely going to look over it. But Earth, however many miles it is in diameter, okay, it puts that same amount of miles in diameter in ether under strain. So it is saying that with the diameter of Uranus being 34,800 miles, it being its diameter, it puts at least 34,800 miles of ether under strain. So the diameter of Earth, whatever it is, it's also putting the same amount of ether under strain. And it's driving it forward with a velocity of 4 miles per second. So however fast the Earth is rotating around the Sun, that is how much force is being driven beyond the planet. Okay, let's continue. We're right here. Uranus enters the sign of Aries in the spring of 1927. Wow, the year that this book was written. Aries is a cardinal fiery sign. Those who come under the influence of this sign are ambitious, versatile, enterprising, forceful, determined, headstrong, impulsive, fiery, and quick-tempered. I'll be back 1 second. Because last night, we were taking lots of notes on the horoscopes, and we took some on Aries, being the first sign of the zodiac, being the first ones that we took. And then the second sign of the zodiac is the Taurus, and that's the bull. And what I plan on doing after we finish this book, I was going to read all of these to you guys, and then also compare it with what Charles F. Haanel was saying here, because all of this is exactly what's in this book, which is totally awesome. Mars is a normal ruler of the sign and brings enterprise, daring, energy, and progress. And Mars being the god of war, it also represents Aries perfectly because they're a cardinal fiery sign. What do we learn about cardinal signs? They like to go out there and get things done. You know, they like to go out there and get things started. Okay, we'll use that one. They like to go out there and get things started, but they may not always be there for the finishing of that thing which they had gotten started. But the vibrations from Uranus creates an abnormal situation. Enterprise will be converted into strife, daring into friction, energy into accident, ambition into enmity, and construction into destruction. The powerful electrical vibrations from Uranus, contacting the fiery vibrations of Aries, will have a tendency to break down existing conditions, and in so bring about fractures, dislocations, sudden catastrophes, alienations, ruptures, and separations. Wow. So Aries are it's basically saying the vibrations from Uranus affect Aries in somewhat of a negative type way, and it may cause conditions of fractures, dislocations, sudden catastrophes, alienations, ruptures, and separations. All that is unlimited and unbound comes under the influence of Uranus. His mission is to awaken and revivify, remodel and renew the life of those who come under his magic power. Oh, wow. You know what's funny? When I started my training, before I started my training, my cousin asked me what I wanted to do. And I just want to show people a more abundant way to live. And hey, have you ever tried personal training? And I thought about it because I thought about doing personal training when I was in high school, after I had completed Insanity. Swift and unexpected, he brings thunderbolt catastrophes and experiences unthought of. For with him, indeed, it is, quote, the unexpected that always happens, end quote. He waits to afflict, but out of his evil ways always comes good. He gives no warning as to the nature of his lightning-like cataclysms, but comes laden, as it were, with a mixture of colors and hues. Colors? Okay, hold on. With a mixture of colors, the hues of which are peculiarly interwoven with the color of the vibrations with which he meets. We may then expect to find a great conflict of natural forces during the next few years. Storms, disasters, unseasonable weather, with the consequent destruction of life and property. These are the natural and inevitable results of the conflict of unseen forces, and there seems to be no way of evading or avoiding the result of this invisible warfare. But unfortunately, the result does not stop here. The vibrations reach the minds of men and act upon the impulses and emotions. And unless the affairs of the nation are in the hands of men who recognize the danger and know how to modify, adjust, or control the situation, the result is war. War is simply the result of ignorance and prejudice, which is, the most true thing ever. With everything happening in politics and whatever they're going and doing, all these presidents and all this and all that. Me personally, I think it's a lot of BS, because there are no presidents nowadays like the great ones. President Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, these presidents who were actually doing good were all assassinated, and I'm pretty sure that they were all taken out by people inside of the government, because who else are everyone in society putting all of their power in the hands of, right? The government. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but nowadays it's not exactly a good thing. War is simply the result of ignorance and prejudice. Try to visualize the result of this lack of knowledge concerning natural laws. Can you realize the situation? Think for a moment. See the army of dead pass in review. The greatest army ever gathered together in the history of the world. Men from Germany, men from France, from Italy, from England, from Belgium, from Austria, from Russia, from Poland, from Romania, from Bulgaria, from Serbia, from Turkey, yes, and from China, Japan, India, New Zealand, Australia, Egypt, and America. On they go, silently, noiselessly, for the dead are very quiet, marching all day long, and all the next day, and the day after. Still they come, day after day, week after week, and month after month, for it would take months for this army of 10 million men to pass any given point. All dead and dead only because a few men in high places did not know that force can always be met with equal or superior force. They did not know that the higher laws always controls the lower laws, and because intelligent men and women allowed a few men to control their thinking processes, the entire world must sit back in sackcloth and ashes, for the living will find it necessary to work the rest of their lives in order to even pay the interest on the obligations assumed during the last war. And their children will find these obligations an inheritance, which they in turn will pass on to their children and their children's children. And we don't want to pass war destruction, anything, to our children's children, to even our children, to even anybody in our society nowadays. You know, we don't want to pass that thing on to them, because it is us of today which makes the world as it is today. And war, there's no reason for there to be war. You know, people have the ability to live with each other. We have that choice, because if America, being the greatest country that it actually is, and I firmly believe that, hey, it actually is, because it is here where, you know, this is the most fortunate country. It's the most wealthy country, which is the reason why we are the ones that need to be taking care of all of the other countries and not trying to take them over or to be fighting them. You know, America, we have the power. You know, you hear that there's a lot of countries that are starving, and you hear that there's enough food in America alone to feed the entire population. How much food do you think is wasted because it's being thrown away? You know, instead of throwing that food away, maybe go out and send it to a nation that actually needs it. You know, why do we need to keep all of the abundance on this particular continent when we're supposed to be exploring and sharing our abundance with the entire world? Because whoever they say the leaders are of America right now, you know, whoever's in the government, they're not real leaders. You know, they're not real leaders. All they talk about is money. All they talk about is this and that, the economy. You know, I agree that, yes, the economy is very important and money is very important. It's a necessity. Yes, we need it. But what about principle? What about ethics? What about rights? What about getting together with other countries and trying to make peace with them, instead of actually going out and saying that our troops are going to be out of Iraq within the year, and it's already been over 8 years, and they're still out there fighting them? Why do you think that is? Do you think they're really actually trying to take care of them, or maybe they're actually, you know, maybe they're trying to take them over? A real leader would get with the other leaders and try to make peace. And we'll try to come together and to see how everybody can actually help each other. I don't know much about politics. You know, all of everything that I said right now is what I know on my current state of understanding. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more going on with it, but that's a fact that I've seen to be true. That they hardly talk about ethics, they hardly talk about rights, they hardly talk about what's good for the entire world, and not just for the people of this country. Because America is the superpower that's supposed to be helping all of the other countries. And that is the end of this section, and we're ending it with a lovely quote, and I believe this may be from Charles F. Haanel, because it has no, you know, with the line thing with somebody's name on it. It's not, what is that word I'm looking for? Anyway, this is the quote, and it says, "Though the mills of God grind slowly, yet they grind exceedingly small. Though with patience he stands waiting, with exactness grinds he all." End quote. That is the end of section 7 on light vibrations. And next is section 8 with sound. If you made it to the end of this video with me, thank you so much for watching. I know my videos aren't exactly the greatest. I know they're pretty long, and I know that, you know, it is what it is, and I'm doing what I can with what I have right now, and I know that that's all that matters. And every day, in every way, we are getting better and better. And that is a quote by Dr. Emil Cui, someone who taught themselves and others how to heal themselves. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember our daily affirmation that we are the lights of the world, you and me, and together we're here to make a difference, and we are going to make a difference. With that being said, I'll see you.